Hello Africa, welcome to another exciting episode of the CGC show on AU TV. AU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. We are coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities here in Accra, Ghana, and I am your host, Adjoa Omie. Don't forget the show is proudly brought to you by the Association of African Universities. Do well to follow us on our social media platforms at AAU_TV on Twitter, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, and at AAU TV Official on Instagram. Today, we will be discussing educational consultancy as a career, and my guest is already here, but I'll introduce him after the break. Please stay with us.
One of the universities set up in our pre-independence era, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Our international reputation has and continues to soar as a reference point in matters of science and technology, research and education. We believe that the future belongs to those who have sound technology acumen.
I love USD.
I love KNUST.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, you are watching the CGC show on AAU TV. And I have here with me Mr. Jesse Manfort, who is the director of ETC Ghana. It's a firm that trains people and counsel people when it comes to education. And he will be helping us to talk about educational consultancy as a career path. Mr. Jesse Manfort, welcome on the show.
Thank you very much, Adjoa.
I know you to be an educational consultant and all that, but what exactly do you do?
Okay, so we're into educational consultancy.
Okay.
That's ETC Ghana. And we do lots of training for people who want to have a professional path to take. And so we train them in aspects where they want to be and they wish to be for the rest of their lives.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you more like counsel them and then you train them too.
Exactly. So they come over to our center in the event of trying to take a particular program.
Okay.
And then we advise them on the career path to take. Some people come around, they might see the options and then try to weigh and choose what they want to do. So we have various programs that are outlined for them to go through. So people who call in are actually coming for a particular program.
Okay.
Yes.
You talked about training. How do you train them?
Okay, so when I talk about training, it has to do with more of education.
Okay.
And so education and development. And so there are various programs at our center where we have one aspect of called the teacher training section, where we train them in early year development. We also have aviation section, where School of Aviation, where we train them in airline ticketing and reservations, cabin crew. And then we also have the shipping management school, where we train them in to be clearing agents, logistics, and all that. So when they come in, we have tutors, we have people who are knowledgeable in the field. Then they take them through those programs.
Wow. That's very great.
Yeah.
Because so if you want to be, say, a nurse or a cabin crew, you can come to your school for training.
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes to the health aspect, we don't really go there.
Into the health.
Yeah, but we are more of teacher training, aviation, and then shipping.
Okay.
Yeah, and as well as not only training, but also trying to counsel them on what programs to read when they go to the universities. Others choose to study outside, And so when they come around, we try to tell them what programs to take. Either as a SAT, as a TOEFL, as a GRE, as an IELTS. So it's more counseling and training as well.
Okay. But how did it start off? How did you start it all
Okay,
off?
so Excel Training Center started not, it is a subsidiary.
Okay.
Yeah, but the mother company is DIU Excel Consultants.
Okay.
And so it started off with counseling people. The main motive was to counsel people on the kind of education to take or the career path to take, and also help them come out from some preconceived ideas as to if I have to go to the university, that's the only place that would help me become a better person. Yeah, so we thought it wise to come up with some training that would help them advance and help them seek a better path. So the ETC Ghana now came up as a firm that would help do the training. Yeah, so when it comes to the teacher training aspect, we realize that most teachers in our sector or our vicinity, just when they complete SS, we throw them into the nursery schools, and then we say yes, because the kids don't know anything, just go there and then teach them something.
Yeah.
We realized that with experience. So I was working with a consultancy, which I always, anywhere I go, I mention their name. It was Mabedem Consult, and that's one of my boss. I respect him a lot. He trained me in these things. So we're doing more school management. So we visited more schools in, let's say, Weja and other places. I realized that the teachers there lacked experience, and they lacked what they had to teach the kids.
Exactly.
And they're always doing one way things, and you have these old women there, and we say they have a badai, and that's what they are doing. But forgetting that these kids, the foundation is better than whatever you put them through. So we saw the need to train these people, and give them some experience and exposure. So we did that, and amazingly, it is really picking up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you started ETC Ghana, did you go to schools, or you had people coming in to apply or for admission?
So we have various means of advertisement.
Okay.
The major one is online. So we mostly advertise online, on Google, on these marketing apps, various marketing apps. We also tried the schools. That was the initial thing we did. But you visit the schools and you realize that they are their own bosses. They don't want any training.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we once visited a school, and the man was like, my son trains the teachers. On our way out, one of the teachers said, he's lying. We don't have any training here. And that's how the school has become.
So embarrassing.
It was bad. But so he said, give me your number, I want training. And so you get to the schools, and they don't want you to. So the schools won't come. A few of them who are trying to establish, and they know what we have done, try to call us and like, come to my school, come and train the teachers, help me establish the school and all that. Yeah, a few, but majority of them will never come because they are themselves.
Educational consultancy is, I think it is one of the career paths that is actually doing well currently. Or you are on the field. What do you think?
Okay, so when we talk about educational consultancy, it has to do more with people trying to help others who don't know certain fields of study to go through. So it has to do with more of counseling. But one has to be in the educational sector.
Okay.
So you have to really be there before you can really advise anyone on what career path to take. Yes, so it comes as a point whereby you have gone through some years of teaching,
you
and
have
then
the experience.
yeah, you have the experience, and then you can, because as a teacher you stay in the classroom with the kids for some time,
Yeah.
and you know their strengths and their weaknesses. So when parents come, you could tell them that this is what your child is best doing. Yeah, and that can give you that experience to take that part. Yeah, so educational consultancy is doing well. It's just that lots of people don't know that it is.
It's something that is there.
Yes, lots of people don't. We leave it to the old, grown people who have been in about 50 years of education, and those are the people who live.
Because mostly the younger ones, let's say say 17 or 18, you are done with high school and you want to go to the university. Mostly they give you out to somebody that is already in the university to advise you on what. You sometimes even ask your friends.
Yes.
That what course are you going to do? Then I'll just choose that.
Exactly.
But then educational consultants, we have the firms.
Yes.
So you use students can walk in
and then
seek advice on what to
do. Exactly. So,
but do you think people come there often?
People don't patronize a service where they want to walk into an office and then seek an advice on what career path to take.
It's true.
The main reason being that in our system of education, or in our culture, we believe that the adults are those who can advise us, better. So they can tell your parent or your mom or your dad can tell you that, Akosia, take this, go and do nursing. I think nursing be fatal.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, probably the person has a very bad biology background, and she's being forced to do what is against her will. So we rather have the say of people influencing us. So the adults would rather tell us what to do, rather than what we want to do. We don't have that willpower to say that this is what I want to do. You don't see people walking. It's only they only come or they benefit from these counseling when they come through the training. So as we train them, we try to tell them that this profession is like this. So especially when it comes to the teacher training, the teacher training aspect, we don't advise you that you are just going to be a teacher. There are various career paths in teaching, and you could either be a school admin handling something, you could be a school counselor handling another aspect, you could be an advisor to parents, you could be an advisor to some schools, helping them establish. There are various career paths in there. Just than looking at it from that angle whereby you'd be holding a marker and standing in front of a board with a cane. It is beyond that. But people don't come around to seek these advice from us unless they are locked up with certain things before.
I remember I visited about 3 universities here in Ghana, and I wanted to find out from some students whether they visit the counseling centers even in their schools. And most of them were telling me, I actually targeted level 400 students because they've been in the school for a very long time. And most of them were telling me, oh, they don't know of any counseling center in the schools. Some also said they don't feel or see the need to go to a counseling center. But I mean, come on, you're in school.
Yes.
You are reading a course. You might need an advice, or you would want to know what exactly, like for the course you're reading, some of the prospects and all that. Isn't that affecting your job? Or maybe you guys are not really marketing yourself out there.
It is, but the main problem is that from home, he's been told what he's going to do. You dare not tell a parent, Daddy, I think I want to do music. I'm not going to read arts again. He might slap you there and then. So what do? You follow what they want you to do.
Yeah.
And some people finish school or complete school and then they say that, yeah, I've completed and the degree is for my father. The rest is what I have to do. Yeah. So it affects us in a way, and I'm also sure consultancies or educational consultancies are not so many out there. They're only seeking to train the teachers in the school and seeking to make some money from some places, but not really advising students on the particular career paths they should take. Yeah, and that's the challenge.
I'm not sure we'll be able to finish this conversation, but let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll delve more into the issue. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It's still the CGC show on AAU TV, and we have been discussing educational consultancy as a career path. Mr. Jesse Manfort has been talking about the whole career, what it actually entails, some of the things that they do to students and parents, adults, whoever comes to their firms, what exactly they do to them. Let me come to you.
Yeah.
What has been your challenging moment in educational consultancy?
Our challenging moment as a company has been to really get people to advise or counsel when it comes to education. So just like we were saying earlier, you hardly see people come to your firm for advice.
Yeah.
It's only when they are stuck, that's when they want to come. So we have people coming in for, let's say they want to travel outside to further their education.
Okay.
And so when they come, that's when we even, because they rather come for tuition, not the counseling. And so when they come for the tuition, that's when we chip in
The counseling. Okay.
and then try to ask, what school do you want to go to? What do you want to read? If you read this course, they might not pick you, so choose this course. And then we try to advise them. So we once had a student who was coming in for a remedial, as with the training section, and we advised him that don't do the remedial. You could do, because you waste your time that you have written like 3 times, you're not passing.
Wow.
And you're growing. So try take a different program. So we have this WIEC diploma course, and we made him take it. He took it. He had never done a cons and all that. He did about 5 subjects. He passed and he went to the university.
Wow.
Yeah, so his mom was so happy that we were able to advise him. But he didn't come in for counseling. He came in for tuition. Yeah, so it's a big challenge, but we try to chip it in to help. Yes. So now when people go out there, oh, come to the school. When you come, they will advise you on what to do.
Oh, nice. that's a good thing for you, because what has been some of your achievements, like the one you just shared? I know that is one of the many achievements.
Yes, most of the achievements, or there are lots of them. There are lots of them. So the consultancy in itself advises students on certain things. So we try to push that counseling in our tuition, where we have the training center. So as we train them in, let's say, aviation, or we train them in the shipping management, or we train them in the teacher training, we try to push some core values there, tell them what career paths they can take, what they should achieve in future. So one of our students came through early year program. That's the teacher training aspect. He went through, he was done. We tried to push him to say, don't take just the teacher training. I always tell them, don't just leave here with this professional diploma. Push, move further, go higher, go to UCC or Winneba, take the course. So one of them did, and he entered the university. He called me that, say, I'm in the uni now. I'm like, wow, and I was happy, I was glad because he had no means to get there.
Of course.
And so when he got there to the program that he had learned, he now became a master of in UCC.
Oh, okay.
And he even became a TA.
Wow.
For one of the lecturers.
Wow.
On the course that he had done at our center.
Oh, okay.
So I was really glad. When it comes to the aviation section, we also have one of our students having a travel and tour company herself. She runs a travel and tour, taking white people on tour outside and all that. She's doing so well. We have various students doing marvelously and wonder, and those are the achievements.
Wow.
Our achievement is to see them excel. That's why we call ourselves Excel Training Center. So our main motive is seeing our students excel. Yeah.
So I believe educational consultancy is something, is a profession that people really need to take up seriously.
Yes. Exactly.
Looking at how education has become really relevant in our world currently.
Exactly. It's become very relevant. Education will never die out.
Definitely.
We always say that until you are dead, you don't stop learning.
Yeah.
And so education will be here forever.
Yeah.
And so educational consultancy is a field that people need to look at and not just say when you get into education you teach. Gone were the days when someone says I want to be a teacher, they will say that no.
Yeah.
Because teachers are misers. they don't give.
Yeah.
But teachers are those who also live longer on earth. Because of how you relate with kids. So the more you are spending time in the teaching field, the more you're engaging with people concerning training and education, the more you gain the experience on how to advise who what to do. And so the field should not just be neglected. I think there has to be a body that will be set up to help advise people on what career path to take. Yeah, because our parents, our traditional way is killing us in a way where we just advise you take this course, do this, and you
become
go
this.
mess up. Yes. I am from experience. I followed my friends that I want to do science in school. Meanwhile, science wasn't my thing. Yeah, so I struggled through SS. And when I came out, I was like, I'm never going to do science again. And I channeled my part to do something else. And from that, I have experienced certain things that don't just take anybody's opinion, but what you wish to do for yourself, take that career path and you do well. And that's what we are doing now to help them, so that you don't just become what somebody wants you to become, but you become what you want to be. Yeah.
But from the way you've been talking, it's like your students listen to you a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it for you to understand, but has there been an encounter where you told a student that I think you want to do this course, but then I don't think this is right for you, do that. And then the students didn't understand you or didn't want to. Yes. How did you deal with it?
There's been instances, so because we have other programs, people call and then they get to the school and I want to do teacher training. I was like, okay, so we brief them on all that. Then they see other courses. Like, I want to do this one too. So then we ask you, what exactly do you want to do? So you try to talk them into a field that they came in, but they still want to follow. So you leave them. You don't force them to do what you want them to do. So in counseling, you follow them. you follow what the person wants to do. So we left her to choose what she wants to do, and she got through her course and she's done. So she would probably follow a career path in that aspect because she had choices. Yeah, so you don't force them. You leave them and make them choose. And when after they had chosen, advise them on what the course entails or that particular career path entails. Yeah.
So you've not had any encounter where the students insisted on doing like, this is what I came to do. You can't tell me I should change my course.
Mostly they come in with their motives already.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe I want to do this and that's what I want to do. So you can't just look at them and say, because of your height, you can be a cabin crew. No. So you just leave them to do what they actually came to do. Yes, exactly.
That's very, very good. So basically an educational consultant, you train people, you counsel people, you make them know the offers available, the courses available, and then you make them choose.
Yes, exactly.
But you sometimes choose for them.
It's not all the time. Okay, so when it comes to, let's say, those who want to go to school abroad and they want to take a particular program, with that, I advise on what you have to do. And so that you don't just take any course. You might get there and then the school says, we don't need this. So when you come, and you have an idea of taking, let's say, a SAT, I try to tell you that take either a TOEFL based on your strength, because one might have a strength in maths, or English, but the maths is not so good. So we check what we weigh the options and give you the appropriate one. And when we give you that and you go through, you see that you're happy, you get your school, and then you'll be able to go. That's when we can at least advise and try to push what you have to do. But when it comes to the career ones, if the person doesn't do well in time, they will blame you. So you let them, give them the options, give them what is available, and then let them choose. That's when.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody who would want to take, who would want to do educational consultancy as a career path?
Okay, I would like to tell you that it is a field that is interesting. It is enjoyable because when you see students do well, you're also glad.
Yeah.
I think if you have been teaching for some time and you really want to take a part in that, you could join the field, join the train. You make some money, good money.
Of course.
And you would also make people happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so whoever wants to take the career path of becoming an educational consultant, you're welcome aboard. You would do well, and you can really help shape a future. That's the main thing.
Definitely.
How do you really get people to do what they want to do and then excel? And so when you see them do that, you are glad. So it's a wonderful field.
Awesome. It's been awesome and amazing having you on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you.
And thank you too for also tuning in to watch us on AAU TV. This has been the CGC show, and we have been discussing educational consultancy as a career path. If you have any questions, any suggestions, you can leave them on our social media platforms. On Twitter, it is AAU_TV. And on Facebook and YouTube is Association of African Universities. You can also send your questions, your suggestions via WhatsApp on +233 50 8468, and you'll have them answered. Don't forget, the show is proudly brought to you by the Association of African Universities. My name has been Adjoa Omie, and this has been the CGC show. Enjoy the rest of our programs.